like a watermelon, and then you open the watermelon and it's got orange juice inside, and you're like, wait, what the heck is going on here?
Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was fast.
Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a little bit chaotic.
Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was enticing.
Ooh. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Falling Towers. Watch the First podcast, the podcast in which we watch the first episode of a series so that you don't have to. You can, but you don't have to. As you may have guessed, today we're doing a review of Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Netflix, I think it was.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix, everybody, is where you can find it. Is the 2018 version, I think it is. I should have written all this down. Of course, you know, Dr. Muhammad Noor is here, who writes everything down and knows everything properly.
Hello, always a pleasure to be on Falling Towers. Watch the first of things.
We're joined by stud muffin actor, Mr. Desmon Heck. He's also a producer, writer, director.
What's up, everybody? Hello. Good to be back.
Badminton silver medalist. And my name is Ryan T. Husk. I'm the badminton gold medalist.
Ooh,
never played, just stole it. All right. Oh, and the first episode is called Mystic Mayhem. Everybody at home, this is Rebooted Cartoons Month. So every show we do this month will be rebooted cartoons, like cartoons that from like the 70s, 80s, or 90s that have been rebooted. Now, of course, a lot of shows have been rebooted several times. So this is one of them. And if you'd like us to review a show, in the comments below, just type that show, say WTF, and whatever the show you want is. And parenthetically, please tell us where we can find it. So in this case, you would have said WTF, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Netflix. And then we can find it.
What cartoon has been rebooted the most times? I wonder if it'd be like Batman or something like that.
Ooh,
that's a good question.
Probably. Batman's a big
There's
one.
so many Batman series.
Yeah.
A lot of Batman.
That's true.
But this one had a lot. I have a feeling Spider-Man might have quite a few as well. So everybody, if you'd like us to review a Spider-Man show, in the comments below, just type WTF Spider-Man and where we can find it.
Yeah.
Wink.
Dude. Remember, what was the one with the Firestar? Remember that one? And Iceman?
Yeah, Spider-Man is Amazing Friends.
Yeah, I used to watch that one religiously back in the day.
Me too.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Iceman. That's badass.
Yeah.
He was one of the X-Men at some point, wasn't he?
Yeah.
One of the first, I think.
Was he? Oh, yeah, he was.
I think so.
Iceman. Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, let's get into this green show, everybody. Muhammad already knows where we're going. Just tell us already.
This is where we predict whether each other liked it or not. And it's in a section we call the Predictaments. If you have mints, it's bonus.
That's right. It's my favorite part of the show. How could I forget? My absolute favorite. And after that, it's kind of like, whatever. So, because Muhammad and I have known each other pretty well over the last few years. Desmond and I have known each other. Whoa! It's actually been a really long time. Maybe like 15 years or something, Des.
Yeah, man. Like babies and pacifiers.
Yeah, we met when we were like 9 or something, right?
Yeah.
So 15, 16 years.
It was before you did American Beauty. It's like before that.
Yeah, that's right. All right. And Muhammad and Desmond go way back like a few months. So good luck.
Yeah.
Something.
Muhammad, I predict that you were lukewarm on this show. You enjoyed some of the humor. You probably enjoyed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back in the day, but not that much. It doesn't seem like it was terribly your style. So you were kind of medium on it before, and this you were also medium. Desmond, I think you're like, hey, fuck it, this is kind of fun. And you're a little bit more than lukewarm. I think you enjoyed some parts. I think you had some fun. It was kind of zippy. You smiled. It wasn't the best thing you've ever seen, but you enjoyed it. What do you think, Muhammad?
This is always tough. Ryan, I think you liked it all right. Because I think you probably did watch the older Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and liked that pretty well. And you're like, oh, okay, this is similar. So I don't think it knocked your socks off completely, but I think you're pretty happy. Desmond, you're a pretty positive guy. I'll assume that this is as well, that you're like, yeah, this was exciting. This was, energizing. So yeah, I think both of you are going to be, not like 9, 10 positive, but positive nonetheless.
What do you think, Des?
I think Muhammad, I think you really liked it. I feel like you look like a Ninja Turtle fan, so I think this is up your alley for some reason.
You're going to say a Ninja Turtle.
Maybe that too.
Yeah,
I'm kind of bald like them, so
No.
Quick.
And then Ryan, I think you liked it, Ryan. I think, but you're a little bit more critical of it. So I think you're a fan of the series, so you're probably a little bit more harsh on it. Not that you didn't like it, but I think you thought it was okay. That's what I predict. Because you are the Simon Cowell show.
Aww.
Very true. No, that's right. And you've got to be the Paula, no doubt about it.
On the Paula, yeah.
Dad, you've got that one on lockdown. All right, because Desmond loves Paula Abdul, not because he wants to fight for this one. Okay, so everybody at home, make your predictions right now. Did you see how much fun that was for us? Now you get to have that much fun predicting. Did I like the show? Did Muhammad like it? What about Desmond? What are your thoughts? How much did we like it or not? While you are typing away feverishly, no sweat. Take your time, relax, think it through. Muhammad here is going to buy us a little bit of time by letting us know what this show is even about.
Absolutely. And you can sweat if you want. We won't smell it. So, in these continuing adventures, the Turtles and their friend April stumble upon two bad guys chasing a dog-like creature with a vial tied to its collar. When confronted, the bad guys transform into large monsters, and after a fight, they get away with the dog-like creature, with April, and with an unsuspecting delivery boy who passed through. The Turtles use a magic object to find them in a mystic hidden city where Big Bad Baron Draxum has given serum to mosquitoes that turn the delivery boy into something like a crab. Draxum is very interested in mutants and the Turtles in particular. A long fight ensues. The Turtles get away, but Draxum has let the mosquitoes out into the city.
Good
Intriguing. Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
I liked it. I would comment on that, but I feel like that would be a spoiler for my future comments. So we'll hang on to that. Now, everybody at home, hopefully you finished up your predictions now, your predictaments, as Muhammad likes to call them. I can't remember what Rico called them last week. He said like predictabots or something. He went all over the place.
Rico predicate.
Yeah. So it is now time for what again?
This is time for the expectations, where we talk about what you expected, and we spend most of our time on what you got.
Wow, ninja.
Nice.
So let's compare and contrast what we expected versus what we got. Dr. Noor of Duke University here. What did you expect before watching this first episode, if anything?
So I'd seen the original cartoon a little bit, but like barely. I mean, I was aware of it. I certainly knew the theme song, and I'd seen a couple of episodes, but it's not like if somebody cornered me and said name all the Ninja Turtles, I probably couldn't do it. So it wasn't something close at heart. I just assumed this would be something like those episodes I kind of vaguely remembered, something with a mixture of a lot of humor and a fair bit of action. So that's why I went in expecting on this one. I didn't know this particular one came out. I think I somehow just missed that it was around. But I mean, realistically, based on my background, I probably wouldn't have sought it either. But still interesting to see for Watch the First.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Desmond? What did you expect before you watched this first episode, if anything? And had you already seen it before?
I had not seen it before. I thought it was going to be, because what I know about the Ninja Turtles is from the video game, the arcade game, because you used to always go to the arcade at the mall. So I would always play the Ninja Turtles. I always wanted to be Donatello because he was purple. He was like my favorite turtle. So I just thought it was going to be like all action. I was like, this is just going to be like some action animated cartoon where it's just a lot of fighting and stuff. So Yeah, so I was surprised. I like the. Can I say what I like? Yeah, or
Not
Not
Is
yet.
that okay?
Ooh,
Okay, so
that's
I
next.
can say. Can I say what I didn't? No, I'm just kidding. But that's what I expected, like a high action packed cartoon.
hmm I had a lot of expectations because I remember seeing the very first movie way back in the day. It was kind of like live action with people
Live
in like
action.
costumes.
Yeah.
Ernie Reyes Jr. That just popped in my head. I think he was one of the Ninja Turtles. It was kind of weird. Now that I look back at it, it was kind of just people in costumes and Muppets or something like that. And I too was very pleased with that video game back in the day, the arcade game. You pop that quarter in because you could pick any of your 4 Ninja Turtles. So that's always cool when you can pick something different, especially back then, 15 years ago. And so that was really fun.
Try.
I think I was usually Michelangelo or maybe Raphael. I think those were the ones that I would have been. And I think the video game also came out on like Nintendo as well.
It's a good
Super
seeding for the
Nintendo.
later question of who your favorite character is.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I think that's all I know about the Ninja Turtles, but that's quite a bit. You know, the first movie, the arcade game, and then a future video game as well. But I did expect it to be updated because this just came out a few years ago. So I did expect that they wouldn't all look the same. I didn't expect that they would all act similarly. I felt like they were going to try to vary them a bit more. That just seems like that would be the natural progression of the show. And that's really the only expectations I had, or like a prediction for what I thought it was going to be like. But I thought it was going to be certainly updated. That's what we expected. Dr. Noor, what did you actually get, though?
So I gave the bit of an answer at the very beginning. It was a little bit chaotic. It was, it was largely what I expected. It was funny and very high action, like lots and lots of things happening very, very quickly. It's almost a little hard to keep up exactly what was happening with whom all the time, but not too bad in that regard. I loved just from the very beginning the synth version of the old intro music that came on. I thought that was really good. Yeah. I have to admit, I didn't love the animation style. It's just not this kind of style of animation right here is not my favorite. It's sort of this 2D blocky kind of thing. Like, rather it looked a little bit more realistic. But I mean, not that they're real Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but more realistic 2 turtles or something like that. Yeah, I mean, the plot was there. It didn't really. It wasn't really an origin story in this case. It was just starting. I guess what was the one you call it? I'm writing a 3rd episode pilot.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay, yeah.
It just was just going. Like I actually didn't remember April at all. I was like, was April in the original? I don't actually remember her.
I think like February and September was not April. I'm just kidding.
This guy.
Nice.
Hey, everybody, you're in for a treat today.
Yeah. I'll stop there. I'd leave room for stuff to bring up later in terms of specific things I liked and didn't like. But it was a little chaotic, but fun.
Yeah, that'll be later in our Things Left Unsaid segment, right, Mohammed?
Yeah, right.
90
seconds, Desmond. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Desmond, what did you actually get upon viewing this first episode?
I don't know. I thought it caught me off guard. I like there was a humor in it. Like I liked when they were like, I had to Google it because I forgot what it was called. I thought it was called I forgot what the word was. It was called zip lining, apparently. But they, like they're zip lining to the destination. They go fly right past it and like end up on the other side in a swimming pool. And it reminded me of the other guys. Remember, like when they jumped, it was like Samuel Jackson and The Rock jumped off the top of the building. They're like, "Oh, you want to aim for the bushes?" But then they completely missed it. It just reminded me of that kind of humor. If have either of you seen The Other Guy? You have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, what movie is that?
It's called The Other Guys. It had Will Ferrell in it. It was like Samuel Jackson, The Rock.
Cool.
But it was funny. It just caught me off guard because I know it was going to be humorous. And I liked, I just liked how it was pretty quick. It went by really fast. There was a lot of stuff coming at you like all the time, so it kind of keeps your brain like on its toes. I think if they were like trying to cater to a younger audience, it's probably good for that. Seem like, and yeah, I can keep going, but I don't want to like have like a whole page of notes. I don't want to like keep talking.
Ooh, nice. That's good. We got a lot of notes too.
Awesome.
A lot of sharps. So actually maybe that was a flat. So, thank you.
Good chord.
Thank you. I'll tell everybody now what I actually got. What I actually got was I didn't like it. I didn't.
I know it.
I just didn't.
Oh.
This was. I was just. It didn't work. Like, I don't feel like. It was just so messy, and as Muhammad said, chaotic. I was calling it frenetic. But
it was definitely frenetic. Yeah,
but it was like frenetic for the sake of being frenetic, to the point where maybe I'm just too old and dumb to follow this thing. But I'm like, I don't even know what's happening. I feel like I'm having health issues right now with my brain watching this. Like, I was just like, what is actually, things are just flying. Yeah, they're doing all this stuff. And I'm like, I actually want to know what's going on. And I can't. Maybe it's because it's nighttime and I had half of a Smirnoff Ice or something, but but whatever it was, I was like, this is very messy, and all of the characters were unlikable to me. They were all
really?
They were the gimmick to me. The gimmick was, hey, every single character is an idiot. And every single character is an idiot that wants to be the funny one. And I'm like, look, you got to have one idiot and one funny one, or one idiot funny one. But they can't every single one be an idiot funny one that can't fight. Anyway, so it was just I was such a mess with this thing. Maybe I'm in the minority here, but like, I was just like, this show sucks.
So Baron Draxon agrees with you in describing the Turtles as accidentally impressive.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, he did say one other line that I thought was funny. I'll have to pull it out later. But okay, let's just go, Muhammad. As you mentioned, who was your favorite character?
I honestly had a hard time remembering which one was which. I mean, there's the big guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like for the others, I kept on thinking like, wait, was that Leon or was that Donnie? Was that? Yeah. So I put a star by Leon, saying the one I think was Leon was it, but like you were saying, because I thought he was funny, but then somebody else looked like him and was also funny, and I didn't quite pay attention to what color his mask was. So I think it was Leon.
the blue guy?
Yeah.
Blue mask? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Leo, because it's Leonardo,
Well, they were changing it. I noticed they weren't always using the same short thing. Sometimes they'd say Leo and sometimes say Leon.
Oh, really?
Mickey.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was consistent.
I actually like that.
Made it even more confusing. Which I remember the long version, so I was like, oh yeah, I guess that's the same guy.
What do you think, Desmond? Did you have a favorite character?
Yeah, well, Donatello was he's my favorite. So I was kind of looking to see like what they did with him. So I thought he was cool. Yeah, I liked him. But I mean, that's like a whole childhood thing. So I felt connected to Donatello, man, the whole time. It's like, oh yeah, it's my favorite Ninja Turtle.
Which one is Donatello?
The purple one.
Oh, the purple one.
And he had the staff, and he was the only one that didn't take a special weapon.
Yeah.
That's cool.
If he had gotten sick from it, would it have been a staph infection?
Oh,
better than a RAF infection, am I right?
Oh my gosh.
Just dawned on me.
Oh, yeah.
That's all we got.
That's all we got, guys.
Although Michael would have rolled his eyes.
Who was your favorite?
Get it, Michelangelo. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you. Okay. I didn't have one, and because I knew that this was coming up. I was right. I successfully pinned that they would update them, trying to make them look different, so it's easier to tell them apart beyond just a color. But like I said, they all had, including April and especially Splinter, they all just had, I'm dumb and funny, right? They were all just, I'm dumb and funny. And Splinter, oh my God, that was disgraceful. They turned him into the rat. Yeah.
Oh.
He's supposed to be like basically an animal version of Mr. Miyagi. Think Mr. Miyagi. Like, he's this wise karate sensei. And in this thing, they made him a bumbling, farting, lazy, stupid idiot. That was Splinter.
Okay, I wrote down, was that supposed to be a tribute to Mr. Miyagi too? Like I figured that. I was like, okay.
What they did to Splinter was shameful. And oh my God. I was just like, they turned him into the comic relief on a show that's all comedy. and when they were going to go back and you're expecting this sensei, this wise sensei that gives them advice and teaches them how to be, and instead he's like fat, lazy, stupid, drunk, stupid. I was shocked. Anyway, so
was that a big cost for your score drop, or was that a minor contributor because the rest of it was also rough?
Splinter in particular?
Yeah.
I feel like Splinter was when my hopes for it to get better were when I was like, when it became more, first it was just kind of like moderately stupid, like not that big of a deal. It didn't really bother me. It was just kind of like, okay, we'll see how it goes. But when they met Splinter, I was like, oh my God, this is so that's so messed up.
Like, point of no return there.
Yeah, like I don't really care about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that much, but I feel like the people that are like diehard fans from like the 80s and 90s, especially like the Splinter fans, will be very upset with how they depicted their sensei or their wise one. I think they would be very upset. Didn't bother me. It just made me go like, oh my God, this is terrible. So I guess
across the line.
I'll say my favorite. No, I don't know. I don't even have one. I think I used to like Michelangelo the most, but I think they might have made him the stupidest in this one out of the bunch of stupid people. Anyway, I don't mean to be a downer, but I can't pick a favorite.
That polarity is good, man.
Maybe the bad guy, Draxum. Played by John Cena, by the way.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not know that. Oh wow, that's pretty tight.
Yeah, when you mentioned The Rock, I was wondering if you caught the John Cena in there.
I didn't know that.
Well, Muhammad, you've got a ton of notes. Can you bring us back up by telling us all the funny parts?
I mean, one line that I liked a lot was, "It's like if magic and science had a baby."
Me too.
I thought that was funny.
That was good. Yeah.
That's the only one I actually had a smiley face besides the one I already mentioned, which was the accidentally impressive. And otherwise, I just have general notes about like what was happening at the time. I mean, I thought it was like low level humor. It wasn't like oh my God, that was a great line. It was more just like, that's funny. Oh, they tried this thing and it completely backfired, but ended up being okay. That was pretty much the whole episode. I had a lot of questions though coming out, like, what is the agent? Which I mean, I guess is good because I mean they're trying to draw you in to try to get you to ask questions later on. The agent being the dog-like creature there. Now I like the piece where I can't remember if they were talking to April. They said like, we appear to be in a tertiary metaverse, and it's a long thing, and then somebody said, Mystic Hidden City.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's easy.
That was April. Yeah.
Yeah, the weapons were weird. I had a hard time understanding what the weapons were actually doing.
Yeah. Or why or what. Yeah. Me too.
But I was also curious about Baron Draxum's interest in the mutation and his interest in the turtles. Because he said something like they were beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah, he said they were beautiful, man.
Yeah, that was interesting. So I was
clearly he's the guy that created the Ninja Turtles, basically, either in some directly or inadvertently. Yeah. He was the least stupid of all of them, so I guess he was my favorite. But I had one line that I did think was legitimately funny, was when they said, "I can smell Raph's amazement speak," or something like that. Sweat. Maybe it's, "I can smell Raph's amazement sweat." Because remember he said like, "I sweat when I get nervous," or something like that. And then they said it's, and he's like, "Stop making fun of my nervous smell or stink," or something, something like that. But it was funny. It was a good callback because they did a little bit later. That was legitimately clever, I thought. Oh, and by the way, Muhammad, I don't think it was a third episode pilot. I think it was a pilot because it started a storyline. So it was the beginning of the beginning of a story. we didn't get their origin story, but it was the origin story to
That's a good point.
what's happening there. But Desmond, you seem like you may have laughed a lot. Were there some good moments for you?
Yeah, give me like 2 minutes. I have a whole thing of notes. Okay, let's see.
Nice.
I like the intro. The music was really awesome. It took me back to the old school Ninja Turtles song. I like the bad guys at the beginning with the pets in their jackets. I thought that was cool. I love the humor when they were sliding across the zip line. I thought that was funny. I liked April because she reminded me of my sister for some reason. Like they have the same personality, it seemed like. And I like the humor, how the turtles aren't all powerful when fighting. They have power, but not too much power, which was kind of cool. They weren't like Marvel superheroes. They're kind of fighting.
They're very much not.
No. I love that was funny. The exposition when they asked Pop for the living room. Is Pop a tribute to Mr. Miyagi? Oh yeah, I already asked that. And then I love the sense of humor. It's like the characters are stoners. They're all in this drama and situations, but the situation attitude is like it's all good, man. Oh yeah, because they were kind of like it was like they're all high, because even like all these like horrible things were happening to them. But all like, oh yeah, it's all good. We'll just kind of fight. And we'll make it through. And then incredibly unusually buff bookworm was a good line. Baron Draxum is a good name. I like the magic weapons and how they are learning how the weapons work as they go. Draxum says you fight like untrained buffoons, which was funny. And how Draxum was a fan of the Ninja Turtles was pretty trippy. It wasn't like he's trying to kill him. He's like, oh, you guys are beautiful. And he wanted to like work with them, kind of like he was Darth Vader and they were Luke Skywalker. But, he was he wanted them to join him, which I thought was different and cool. That's all I've got. Yeah. But I liked it. I don't know. Yeah, no, I thought it was pretty. Yeah, I liked. It was kind of light and it was funny, but there was action too, and there was a lot going on. But they had enough exposition to let you know what was going on. If you had no idea what was going on, they had like maybe like 2 sentences of exposition, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm looking up Splinter here. Here, this wasn't the scenes that we saw him in, but this is a perfect depict. They've got him just laying in his underwear, drooling on himself, a nice pink nipple there.
I thought that was funny, man.
But in the show, they had him just like stuffing his face full of cake and passing out and watching, Desperate Housewives or whatever, and like super lazy and super dumb. It's like
I think they were catering to like a younger audience, so they kind of like look at like adults as kind of like like they're. Oh yeah, he's not really going to do much to us, but we could use him for like whatever we can get from him. Kind of like it seemed like they were catering to like a younger audience.
I think that's exactly it. I think that was the conclusion I came to as well. Is that they're a lot of cartoons. They make them for kids, but they're really at least partially for adults to enjoy.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like this may have been just straight up for kids, and if adults like it, that's a bonus. But it was hyper focused on, kids. Maybe kids' brains work better and faster than mine, which is pretty likely.
Very short attention spans too.
That's true. Where I'm like trying to understand the story, they're like, "Fuck story! I just want to see things."
I'm writing. Go crazy. Go awry.
I'm writing that down, man. Fuck stories. I just want to see things.
Yeah, they just want to see things and noises and quips, and they're all going, "Who said that?" I don't know. One of the people said something. I couldn't even tell who was talking most of the time, so that's why I couldn't tell. That was one of the issues I had too.
Yeah,
because it just moved so quickly that you just there's all these things going, and there's voices. But I'm like, which turtle's saying what? So I can't really get a grasp on their personalities. All I know is that Raphael is somehow way bigger than the rest of them. And he's kind of leader-ish. Whereas before, Donatello, the blue guy, was the leader. So I feel like that's also changed. I think originally Donatello, the blue guy, was the leader. The purple guy was like the mechanic guy that, like the scientist. Michelangelo was like the funny one, the cool. He was like the cool one. Like he was the one that kind of would do like the cowabunga dude. And, he was like the surfer cool guy. and Raphael was kind of a little
from
bit
the A-Team.
yeah, and Raphael was like a little no, he was Murdoch, kind of.
Oh, Murdoch. Okay.
Kind of. And Raphael was more like a little bit more serious and a little bit more temperamental, maybe. And I didn't feel like any of them had that same distinction except for Donatello. I feel like he was the only one that was similar to the character. April was not in any way similar, neither was Splinter. They all had completely different personalities, except maybe Donatello. But I'm not an expert on these guys. I just, that's just kind of like what you hang on to. You're like, okay, this is the smart one, that's the funny one, and they're like, nope, they're all different.
Mishmash.
But,
so if you guys had to play the video game now with these characters, you'd have a hard time picking which ones to use.
I'd still go with purple.
Yeah, I'd probably go with Raphael because he would seem like bigger and stronger than everybody. So you'd probably have a better chance of winning. What about you, Mohammed? You would probably go with Donatello, blue guy.
I never played the old video games, so I mean, it'd just be a roll of the dice. Like, I guess I'll try this one.
Or Leonardo's a blue guy, right? Yeah.
But they all looked the same back then, practically the same. So this is certainly a better thing to be able to visually tell them apart. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any highlight moments for you guys?
I like the stoner guy.
Right.
The stoner guy who got kidnapped and ended up in the mystic world, kind of like
right.
He was just like so. It's just like a perfect. He just seemed like a stoner guy.
That's something I wanted to ask you guys about. Oh, Casey Jones. I just remembered his name. There was a character called Casey Jones as well, who was kind of like a cool guy or surfer guy or stoner guy. I wonder if that's who that was supposed to be.
Oh, maybe.
But did he die? Like, didn't they turn him into a monster?
Turn into a crab thing, which we haven't seen if it's possible to undo that. So if it's possible to undo it, then maybe he'll just go back. But
probably will.
Yeah,
I wonder
maybe.
if that's going to end up being him.
Yeah.
They're going to save him, and it's going to end up being like the other extra member of the crew. One thing I did kind of like was that, like Desmond was saying, I was kind of predicting that it would just be an updated version of their old song because their old song was so catchy and fun and everybody liked it that I'd be surprised if they completely changed it. And I was looking forward to them telling us what they're about. And it says, Raph is ready for a fight. Leo's making a scene. I don't know what that tells me about his personality. Mikey's got mad skills. Also doesn't, I don't know. And Donnie rocks machines. Okay, so that kind of
rhymes too.
Which was really all that matters, I think. Seemed like there are Russian guys that turned into monster dogs. There was a Pokemon that I called like the cat Pokemon, but they kept calling it a doggy thing.
Yeah.
At the begining.
Yeah, just the Pokemon. Is it in the picture? No. Yeah, but there was like a Pokemon character.
The agent.
Oh, is that what it was?
Oh, yes. Yeah, at the beginning.
Let me see if I can find it. What they call it, a doggy thing or a dog thingy.
Yeah. Well, except the one called it the agent. One of the bad guys called it that.
Oh, yeah, here it is. I thought it was like a cat, but they called it a dog. So they're probably right since. So there it is.
Yes. Yeah.
This thing.
Mayhem.
Anyway. Yeah. Oh, is that what they called it? Mayhem?
That's what it just said on the screen, just pulled up.
Okay. Makes sense. Because I think the title was Mystic Mayhem. So
they had dog-like things that, like, when the monsters changed, they had like dog-like things fighting for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was another thing. The bad guys changed into these monsters on dogs, but where did the dogs come from? It's not like they. It's not like they had these dogs on hand, and then they also like Cringer turned into Battle Cat on He-Man. It was like air turned into.
Or they split. There was mitosis.
I miss Cringer and Battle Cat.
Yeah. It came from this show. He-Man!
Yeah, man.
I want Cringer, damn it.
I love how watching it later, Skeletor had all the good jokes, man.
He was brilliant. What a guy. So, speaking of brilliant, what a guy. Desmon, Finally, mercifully, let's talk about you for a moment. What's new with you? You are out in North Hollywood, California. You're living the dream.
Yeah.
First off as an actor, then you started writing and producing and directing. Where did that all come from? Yeah, when you went from an actor into a filmmaker, were you doing it so that way you could control your own destiny? Or was it because you were like, hey, I haven't got an acting gig this week, let me create one for myself? Or did you just have these ideas that you couldn't get out of your head, so you had to just make it happen?
There you go. All of the above, man. Yeah, no. I was like, I was in acting school, and they were encouraging us. They were like, oh, you should be, not procreative, pro something. What's the word I'm looking for? Proactive. Yeah. They're like, you should be proactive. You should like create your own stuff. So I was doing
creative would not be great at work.
Yeah, that would slow you down a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was doing. I started doing short videos. I was like, oh, well, I can do short videos. Let me just make a feature video. So I like doing the feature so much. I just kept doing it. That's my thing. And then so I just I figured out that was my calling. I just wanted to like create things in my mind and then put them out on films. That's what I'm doing now. Yeah, man.
So of your many projects, what do you feel is the most creative one? Not necessarily like your favorite, but like what do you feel is the most creative? Like, wow, like nobody else would have come up with this besides me.
Yeah, definitely my last one, Spider. It's so weird and so unique in its own way. And yeah, like you kind of watch and you're like, oh, wait, what? Yeah, it'll definitely make you tilt your head and say, huh? Whether that's good or bad, but it's definitely, it's like looking at I don't know, like a watermelon, and then you open the watermelon and it's got orange juice inside, and you're like, wait, what the heck is going on here? Like, what is this?
I don't think those two flavors would mix, but it would be a pleasant surprise because I love
orange
juice.
It would be definitely.
Well, Desmond, what do you like best? I mean, probably acting, I would guess, but besides acting, as far as say like writing, directing, producing, editing, which takes forever. What's your favorite filmmaking?
Definitely maybe maybe directing and producing a little bit of both, because it's cool just putting it all together and then seeing it all come to fruition. And writing is fun, but I mean, I do like just being like on the set and like actually seeing everything. Like you're painting the picture, you're actually seeing the picture come to life through the directing is really fun. Producing, it's just awesome, just because, you just you get to put everything together, which is pretty exciting. It's kind of hard to describe. I don't know. I figured like some people are like, I don't want to do that, or that doesn't sound very fun to me. So that's how I knew I liked it, because some people are just like, I don't want to do that, or I suggested some actors to create your own stuff, and like, oh, I don't want to create my own stuff. I just want to act, or So I figured that's how I knew I had a thing for it.
Mm-hmm. You've been bitten by the radioactive spider of producing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What a tease! What a teaser, everybody!
What a tease! Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So speaking of Spider, where can we see that?
Oh yeah, it's on. If you go on Tubi, it's free on Tubi, or it's also on Amazon. If you go on Amazon, it's also on there. Those are the two most popular ones it's on.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah.
Tubi, that's that Shakespearean app, right? Okay.
Shakespearean.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. We get it, right? Hamlet.
That's pretty good, man.
Thank you.
To be or not to be. Yeah.
So Desmond, lastly on your acting career, you're a really cool actor. You're really good. And we've worked with you in the past. When I say we, I just mean like myself and other people. But do you have a role that you've always wanted to do, or a type that you've always wanted to do that you haven't yet gotten the chance? Like the crazy villain, or the scientist type, or or like a football player that's misunderstood, or was there something that you've always wanted to do?
That was not. I mean,
Jedi.
that I've always wanted to do. Oh, Jedi would be pretty awesome. Yeah, I guess
Daenerys Targaryen.
Maybe like a, like the.
Sorry,
that's funny, man. No, maybe if there was like a the Black Hogwarts professor would be pretty awesome. Like they had that one guy who's like Dumbledore's got style. They had that one guy who was pretty funny, but I thought they should have had some more in there, which would have been pretty awesome to play. So I'll have to talk to Warner Brothers about that.
Nice.
That was pretty freaking tight.
I don't know. I don't know those characters.
Like Professor Jive Turkey, he'll be teaching potions at Hogwarts this season.
The Jive Turkeyist.
I don't know, the potions professors, man, they were problematic.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that's true, man. Yeah. But defense against the dark arts is always cursed, so we want to do that, man.
Has there ever been a Harry Potter series? Because if so, we can watch the first of that. Yeah, I think there's only movies. No. So I've only watched the first of those too.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't much care for it. Sorry to say.
The books are better. The books are really good. Yeah.
That's what I hear.
People say that about everything. There's almost nothing out there. People say, "Oh, the movies are much better than the books." Almost never happens.
Yeah, let us know, everybody, in the comments below, when a movie was better than the books, in your opinion. At what point did you say, "Wow, this movie's even better than the books"? Because it's tough. It's tough to think of one. To my quick cursory glance through my brain of having read 9 books in my lifetime.
I said maybe like adult erotica or something that would look better in a movie than a book.
Definitely the movie's better.
This movie is so much better than the book.
Yeah, the book's boring. All I'm looking at is words and my thumb flipping through the page. Anyway.
All right, moving on.
Moving on, man. We got a little...
Yeah, because that movie, the erotica, it's just, I'm just kidding. Poor Muhammad. Okay.
Bottom line.
So the bottom line, it's the final 2 questions of the show, the 2 most important questions. Let's just get into them and forget everything that transpired over the last 75 seconds. So,
gonna edit that out.
Question number 1 is, Dr. Muhammad Noor, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give this first episode of the show that has way too many syllables?
For Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that is a lot of syllables. I would give this out of 10 a 5.9. 5.9.
What?
Yeah, that in the sense that was fine. I didn't love the animation. It was a little more chaotic than I would like, but it was fine. It was the start of a new plot. There were a couple things that I found drawing me in, trying to figure out what is this? What is the story behind that? So yeah, I mean, it was slightly above the average mark for me.
What about you, Desmond? What would you compare it to as far as the average mark? Higher, lower, right in the middle? What are your thoughts?
I give it a 9. I thought it was really good. I thought it was very entertaining. I thought it was quick. It went by really fast. There was a lot coming at you, which is very exciting because I don't know. I wasn't bored at all. Throughout the whole time, I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm very engaged right now." I was laughing stuff I thought was funny. I actually laughed out loud in different parts, and I like the characters. I like the evil guy. The evil guy, he was interesting, and yeah, I liked what was going on. I thought it was really entertaining, especially if I was 5 or 6 years old and I was watching this, I'd be really "Oh my goodness, this is so freaking awesome!" Especially being a fan of Ninja Turtles, and I would really think it was very fun to watch. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. Yeah. I gave it a 9. Big 9.
Nice.
Wow. I was very nice. Give it something close to that too.
Yeah,
that's going to make me feel a little less bad.
Oh no,
when I give it my score. And by the way, Desmond, you hit on it. The one saving grace for me was that I was not bored. I didn't know what was going on. I found the characters to be dumb, all this nitpicky stuff that was going on in my brain, but I was not bored at any point, which is great for kids and for any adults that don't like to be bored. However, when it ended, I was like, this is a 2.5.
Ooh.
And then I felt bad. So I tried to convince myself. I was like, maybe a 3.3, maybe and then I was like, why am I arguing with myself about this? It's a 2.5 in my mind. I just didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings that wrote for it or something. So I was like, maybe I could give it a 3.3. But to my brain, to my curmudgeonly mind, I was like, it's a 2 point. There was nothing right about it except that it wasn't boring. It moved.
Can I play devil's advocate with you
quickly? Yes, please do. Devil.
What did you give Silverhawks?
Silverhawks.
Because this was solidly better than Silverhawks.
Let me see. No, I think I gave Silverhawks a pretty decent score.
Really?
Because I remember thinking it was a fine pilot in that we were introduced to all the characters. All the characters were clearly defined. I knew what the show was about. I knew what their missions were about. I understood everything that was going on in that pilot. It wasn't a very good show, but that first episode was, mission accomplished to mostly. But let me see if to answer.
We should give it lower than fair. If not, I'd be like, oh, come on.
I'm gonna have to search for it.
That's always my bar of like the terrible show.
Yep.
Oh, from the 80s?
Yep. See, I told you. I remember. Yeah. I gave it a 6.1.
Wow. And this one's a 2.5. Wow.
Yeah. I think the big difference is because the characters were completely different. I understood them all. I had a grasp of all the characters. I had a grasp of the story. I had a grasp of the mission. I was able to follow it along bit by bit by bit, even if it wasn't that good or executed very well. All of the elements that are needed in a first episode were there for me. So I gave it a 6.1. This one I give a 2.5 because I didn't know. I don't know. Everybody at home, watch this episode. And if you loved it, let us know in the comments below. If you agree with me, let us know in the comments below. Or if you agree with Muhammad that you're like, it was pretty good, lukewarm. That's what I predicted for you. Or if you're like,
you were spot on.
If you're like Desmond and are just like, well, Ryan, you're obviously just too old and dumb to get it because this was fast and fun and furious. Anyway, question number 2 is even more important. For the purposes of this podcast, we all had to watch the first episode of Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, entitled Cosmic Chasm or something like that. Mystic Mayhem. But now that the podcast is over
Chasm is a good,
and you're free to move about the
alliteration.
Cosmic Chasm.
Dr. Muhammad Noor, would you of your own volition watch the second episode?
I love that you remember the alliteration. That was great.
Yeah, that's all it was.
For this one, no, I wouldn't. No.
Oh, but it was so good, Muhammad. What?
It was okay. It was okay, but like barely okay. It's not my speed. What about you, Desmond? Would you of your own volition watch the second episode?
Yeah, I would have. I definitely watched the second episode. Plus, it's quick, so it goes. It's like kind of like when you want to binge watch something and like each episode is really quick, so you can just put it on while you're working or something, or like just late at night you want to watch something, like in the nighttime. I definitely I mean, like I like the quick, fast, fun episodes. Yeah, I liked it. I'd watch it.
It gets one more kudos from me in that it gave us a little bit of a serialized nugget.
Yeah.
Meaning like you're going to want to watch the second episode to find out what the mystery is. They created a mystery. But then that also reminds me of what I disliked the most about it, which was they didn't. By the way, it's a no from me. Big surprise. It's a no.
Really?
Because
what?
It's a no from me, Paula. Because the heroes didn't defeat the bad guy. They didn't depict any heroic acumen. They didn't nothing. They just stumbled. But then they acted triumphant when really it was the space dog that just teleported everybody out of there. But they didn't actually get a win. A lot of times when they're defeated by the bad guy, but they get one win. Like they break the lock and escape, or they outsmart the villain, or they get one minor victory and they're like, boy, we're going to have to train hard because next time he's going to be even tougher. It wasn't anything like that. They just got completely decimated, wiped out, done. They lost completely, every single one of them, and they were all wrapped up. And then the Pokemon happens to escape and save all of them. So there was nothing for us to have any faith in them that they are in any way heroes in a half shell.
So with the mayhem that they created, did that allow the opportunity for April and the dog to get away? Because I think if they hadn't, let's say if they didn't exist, let's say at the beginning they're like, well, they're gone, and they walked off.
Yes, they accidentally stumbled into creating a battle scene that in that battle in which they lost handily, the cage that was holding the Pokemon broke open, and then the Pokemon had a magic teleport ability that apparently could teleport all 6 of them out of there. And then they walked away and then they acted like they won.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point.
Well, but they are teenagers, It's like
that's a good point too.
Good point too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good counterpoint.
And they're just turtles. Give them a break, right? Come on.
Come on.
What do you expect? They're just turtles, poor guys. But they're ninjas that don't act like they shouldn't be called ninjas.
Yeah, they're ninjas
because they're not ninjas at all.
There was no indication that they could ninja.
Well, not yet. Not yet.
What would they call it? Like Ninja Turtles in training or soon to be. I don't know.
Free Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Padawan Turtles.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Ooh, that'd be a good merger, man. Like the Jedis or something. Yeah.
Jedi Turtles. Yep.
They're like your midichlorians are very high, Mr. Donatello. What's going
on? Okay, everybody. So I guess we have to go. We've had a lot of fun here. We've had some laughs, some cries. Desmond's been great as always.
Thank you.
If you'd like us to review a show fairly, in the comments below, give us the show that you'd like us to review, and we will review that show.
It may or may not be fair, though.
Maybe. No.
I won't promise that, at least for me.
Wait a minute.
Very subjective. But that's about it. And what I'm trying to say is this podcast was a freaking blast.
This podcast was a diversity of opinions and perspectives.
This podcast was some job turkey action.
So everybody, remember what Mr. Michael Kenyon Rosenberg likes to say.
Don't forget to be an organ donor, and don't forget to watch the first of things.
Freeze frame like your favorite character. Shit, which was my favorite? Oh, yeah.